Hey everybody, Belinda Sandor here, also known as RocketGirl. Today we're going to talk about the productivity value of templates. When I first started out in my virtual assistant business, I could pretty much remember everything that I had to do in my head. It's probably because I was 11 years younger and I wasn't as busy as I am now. But these days, and for the last few years, I absolutely needed to put templates in place. Now, all a template really is, in its simplest form, is a pre-created checklist. So really what you're doing is you're thinking through the whole project and creating a checklist that you can use over and over and over. It's very useful, very useful. So there are three things to remember when doing this, and I'm going to walk through those right now. The first thing is you want to be thorough. So when you're setting up a checklist, you want to think, what's the very first thing that has to happen? And then the next thing. And you're constantly asking yourself, and then what? And then what? All the way through to the other side of the project in terms of cleaning up. You know, are there some things that you need to do to clean up after the work is done? So you really want to be thorough. And one of the reasons I love templates is because it's very rare when you're in a project that you'll take the time to figure out what's missing. You know, there might be a mistake and you say, oh my gosh, I need to add this, or you miss something and you add it. But to really sit down with a clear space in front of you, you know, a clear mental space, and think about the whole project is very, very valuable. So you want to be thorough. You want to think small too. You really want to think in the granular points of what has to be done. So you could make a template that says, you know, create email newsletter, you know, and that could be like the to-do. However, the value is in things like, you know, add the text to MailChimp or Constant Contact, send a test to myself, check text to make sure there's only one space after each period. You know, really, you want to think at a granular level. So you're not in the shower an hour later and thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't do blah, 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 right? You want to just go all the way down to the granular level when you're making these checklists. Due dates are critical. Due dates are critical. And again, when I open my template and reuse it or set it up for the first time, I'm really thinking about how long the whole thing is going to take and when each thing needs to be accomplished so that I don't bump up into a deadline or miss it because something's going to take a couple of days, or it needs someone's approval, or it needs someone to touch it before I can go to the next step. So you really want to make sure that you assign due dates when you're creating these templates and using them in your day-to-day work. Now, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. All right, so here my point is all about individual actionable steps. That's key. So here you can see this is a newsletter template that I'm creating for a client, or this is an email newsletter that I'm sending out for a client, and this is the template that supports it. So create a test in Constant Contact, personalize the subject line, review the newsletter test and make adjustments, send tests to Michelle after client approval schedule. So you can see all the way down through add to the buffer spreadsheet. You know, so after the newsletter has gone out, it needs to be added to LinkedIn. It needs to be added to the social media spreadsheet. So all the way through to the very end. In some cases, I've even had the last step be open a new template, you know, for the next time we're doing this and start putting the dates on it. If I have things that repeat weekly or monthly, that could be the next step. And I assign a due date so I know what to do. Now, here's the key benefit to templates: consistency and fewer mistakes. So really fewer mistakes when you're really thinking through every single thing that needs to happen. And your templates are going to change over time. A client might ask you to do something in a different way, or you might update the way it's done. You know, lots of things can change a template, but as soon as you see yourself going off the script, this is sort of a script going off the script, I want you to take the time to adjust the template. Or if a mistake is made, I want you to make sure that you add a step in so that you don't make that mistake again. For example, there was a newsletter I was doing for a client, and the step, he included an audio version of the newsletter, a link to it. And although I was testing it, I didn't have it down as a step. And one day someone came in while I was doing the newsletter, asked me a question, and I got out of sync with what I was doing. And because test the audio link wasn't a step, I didn't do it that time and I made a mistake. So I was sure the next time to update my template right then and add test the audio link, so I never forgot that again. So really valuable when you're a VA. The busier you get, the more you need templates, and your clients are going to really appreciate how things are more smooth and things are not forgotten steps, because that's annoying for clients when they have to think about, oh, did she do that? You really want to have a tight process whenever you can. Okay, so templates are our best friend. Now, I am streaming all over the place right now. I am on the Facebook business page, and I am in our VIP club membership group, and I am in the virtual assistant online classroom on YouTube, all over the place. So if you're on YouTube watching me right now, I'd love you to click the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time I go live. If you are not a member of my free online classroom, the Virtual Assistant Connection, please come over. We are a fabulous membership community, or it's a fabulous community with 15,000 members. Lots of learning, friendship, and really a lot of education in the group about how to create the virtual assistant business of your dreams, no matter where you're starting out. So head on over, type the Virtual Assistant Connection in the search bar at the top of Facebook, and click the join button, and I will happily welcome you in. Thanks for listening. I'm Belinda Sandor, Rocket Girl, signing off. Until next time. Bye-bye.